Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until probably about 5 o'clock this afternoon. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. 513-717-5464. 717 King. That's how you get on board. That's how you interact. Well, it's one of the ways you interact. Got a number of things. Robert Willis, what's up? Tony, what's up? Anthony, hey, what's up? Got a number of things I want to discuss today. Let me silence the phone. Get ready to get into it. David, good afternoon. Diane, good afternoon. Andrea, Karen. Scott, good afternoon. Fame, good afternoon. Phyllis, Myosha, watching on her computer versus her phone. It looks super different. You're huge on my monitor. I'm huge. I'll just leave it at that. Sabrina, good afternoon. No, King and I must just assume he's a little busy. He's a busy man. He's a busy man. I almost didn't make it. When people got lives and all that stuff, this ain't our full-time job. So, y'all know. Black Russian, good afternoon. Tria, good afternoon. Tria from Columbia Township. She says, Brenda Fairfield in the house. I saw Clifton in the house. Sierra, good afternoon. Terry, is it Terry? Yeah, Terry, good afternoon. Dina, good afternoon. Quintano. Ross, good afternoon. All right, let me get right into it. Because I got to talk about it. Tyree Nichols. Watch those videos. Look, I don't encourage anybody to watch those videos. They're horrible, horrible videos. Okay? Y'all know I had to go back and forth. Am I going to play the videos? All up in the videos. I didn't know if I was going to play the videos. I didn't know if I was just going, what? I wasn't sure. And I thought about it, and as I went, I was trying to go to the website. I was going to pull them off. I think you can grab them from Memphis Police Department's website. And I was going to do that. And I went to YouTube, and I start watching one again. And I was like, no, I can't subject myself to that again. It was traumatic. It was traumatic. Y'all don't know this about me. I'm a very sensitive guy. Especially when it comes to, something like that. I don't actually like to watch other people suffer. I don't like other people's trauma. So, watching it, I don't get visibly emotional, but I know what I feel inside. So you may never be able to tell it if you're watching me watch something. But I'm telling you, inside, I'm emotional. Not just anger, but I'm sad. Inside, and I don't actually know if you can do this. If you can weep inside. I think weeping is an external thing. But it builds up so much inside that I feel like it's going to come out sometimes. And, I don't want to be sitting around crying, And I was watching, and I was like, I got to stop. Because it's going to spill over. The emotion that I'm feeling for that brother is going to spill over. So I was like, I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not going to play it again. So if you didn't see it, you find out your whatever your own way is to watch it. But I don't think I'm gonna be playing it again. I don't think I'm gonna play it. My mind might change on that after some time, because like with all things, as time goes by, things that are fresh and new, even a relative passing away. Not that it ever is like, oh, good, he's dead. But it's like, oh, initially the shock, the hurt, the pain, the outpouring of emotion. But then after time passes, you process it. And however it is that you process it, and it's not as painful as it was initially, or at least not in that same kind of visceral, emotional way. So maybe as time goes on, maybe at some point I'll play it, but I don't think so. I don't think I will. I'll just tell you, for those of you who didn't see, if you hadn't heard, it's horrible. It's horrible. Terribly brutal. Terribly brutal from the beginning. See, and this is what bothers me when I hear people talking about, hey, we shouldn't run from police. And if you run from police, then you give them an excuse to do this and all of that kind of stuff. Especially with regard to this. You imagine driving your car. You pull over, not pull over, but what they say, he wasn't pulled over. He stops to turn. He stops, turn signal on to, I guess make a left turn. Police pull up beside him, pull up behind him. A cop gets out, opens his door, reaches in to grab him, and I don't remember the exact verbiage. Something along the lines of, get the fuck out the car. Get the fuck out the motherfucking car. Snatching him out the car. Not what you would think would happen. Not, do you know why I pulled you over? Not, show me your hands. Not, can I see your driver's license? Not, why were you driving erratically? None of that. Immediately comes over, opens your door, reaches in and snatches you while screaming, get the fuck out the car. Get out the motherfucking car. He gets on the ground and he's telling him, get on the ground before I break your shit. I'm gonna break your, I don't remember what he told him. I think it was his arm. He was threatening to break his arm. And he actually says at one point, I'm on the ground. Because he was on the ground. Now they're screaming at him, cussing at him, still threatening to break his shit. And it was just horrible. Like, he didn't have an opportunity to comply with anything. He was immediately in the throes of violence, in a fight for his safety initially. Because again, you imagine really try to imagine you driving wherever it is that you're going to drive. You're going to drive home when you get off work, or you're going to go to the grocery store, or whatever the case may be. Imagine you driving, you put on your turn signal, and a car pull up beside you and a car pull up behind you. Somebody jump out the car, snatching you out of your car, telling you, get the fuck out the car. That was his reality. Right then and right there. Well, he shouldn't have ran. Before, he didn't look like he was considering running to me. He was saying, what did I do? I could understand shock. What did I do? What? Because this ain't normal. This ain't the normal way a traffic stop goes. What did I do? What did I, really, y'all doing a whole lot. What did I do? I'm going to break your shit. Now you on the ground. They telling you to get on the ground. You like, I'm on the ground. They telling you to lay on your stomach, but they snatching you around. Now, this has been something that's always bothered me when people talk about, oh, why didn't you just comply? Why didn't you just comply? It's pretty hard when somebody is, let's say, punching you in the face for you to just put your hands behind your back. That's a difficult thing to do. Because, you know, you're getting punched in the fucking face. Typically, the thing that one does when somebody is punching them in the face is try to cover up their face. If somebody's socking you in the head, you try to cover up your head. Typically, you know, from my experience, all the things that I've seen. So you telling me to just lay flat on my stomach while you beat the crap out of me? That's not reasonable to me. That's not reasonable. And y'all, this is before the beating started. This is right out the gate. I'ma tase him. Then he's pepper spraying him. And then somebody's trying to tase him. This is all, it felt like within the first 12 seconds. He went from sitting in his car with his turn signal on to make a left turn to laying on the ground, getting pummeled, pepper sprayed, and tasered. Within what felt like about 12 seconds to me. I didn't go back and time it. Yelling and threats and all of that kind of stuff. He's under attack. And I'm sorry, but once you realize, look, no matter what what I do, what I say, these people got it in their mind that they gonna mess me up real bad. You get up and run. Because he didn't try to flee until all of that happened. I'm not gonna lie. They could have had something. They wouldn't have, but they might have had me. If they pulled up and said, you know why we pulled you over? Because they always ask that stupid question. Don't ever answer that question. Just an aside, never answer that question. Why do you think we pulled you over? Do you know why we pulled you over? Don't answer that question. You have a right to not answer questions. How can I help you, sir? That would be my answer. How can I help you? You know why I pulled you over? How can I help you? I'm asking you, do you know why I pulled you over? And then I would just sit there silently. I'm not answering that question. But he didn't get the opportunity to do any of that. None of it. It was jump out of the car, open up his door, reach in, snatch him, pull him out the car while screaming, get the F out the car. Throwing him to the ground, pummeling him, threatening to, quote, break his shit. That's what the cop said. That might not be a direct quote. He might have said, break your MF. Why I'm saying MF, I done said the F word. Y'all know me, I don't like to cuss. But yeah, he might have said, I'll break your motherfucking shit. Nobody says motherfucking like that except me. But you get the point. And again, I didn't time it, but it all felt, when I was watching, it felt like all of that stuff happened in a matter of definitely less than 45 seconds. That's less than a minute, and you are all in there. So he got up and ran after being pepper sprayed, threatened, pummeled, and an attempt to taser him. All while he's just asking, what did I do? Y'all doing way too much. This ain't necessary. Get on the ground. I'm on the ground. Then he runs. And then the next video, I want to say it's indescribable. It's describable. I don't even think I'm going to describe it. It's very describable. But I'll tell you, it was horrible. It was awful. It was awful. He was beaten to death. He didn't die right there on the scene, but he was beaten to death. And of course, he was calling for his mama, but not calling for his mama in, mama type of way, crying for his mama like, my mama house is only a few doors up. If I call her, maybe she'll hear me and she'll come out and she'll be able to stop them by some means. If she comes out, they'll see my mother standing there. My mother won't allow them to continue to beat me like this. So he's saying, mama, hey, mama, mama. That calling out mama. And the fact that you're so close to home that you really believe that calling your mama, she's within earshot. You that close to home, yet so far away from home. It messed me up. It really did. It messed me up. Oh, hold on. Let me put the chat over here. That's how close he was to making it to home base. That's how close he was. Not necessarily that he would have been safe if he'd have made it to his mama house and got inside. But, you feel like if I could make it home, not necessarily that that's going to stop me from getting arrested for whatever. I still don't know what I did. I just know they want to arrest me real bad. But if I can just make it home, then maybe I can be arrested safely. And you that close, so close that you think you can say, mama, hey, ma, come out here. You think you that close and that she'll actually hear you. While you getting beaten to death. And they keep screaming at the brother, give me your hands, give me your hands. Look, we saw at one point, I know I said I wasn't going to describe it. We saw at one point where they have his hands. I felt like one or two officers on this arm, one or two officers on this arm. They holding him with his arms back like this so somebody can tee off on him while screaming, give me your arms. You got control of his arms right now. Like right now, you have control of his arms. What he gonna do? Take his arm from you to give it to somebody else? But you shouldn't run. And I get it. I get the people who say you shouldn't run. I get the people who say you shouldn't run. I get some of them. Some of them are coming from a good place. Or maybe not a good place, but from a different place. Some of them are coming from a different place. But I think in their minds, their intentions are good. You shouldn't run. You shouldn't run. But I don't think that people understand how, what's the word I'm looking for? How harmful that is on one level. I would tell my son, don't run from the police. I would tell him that. If they're going to arrest you, just let them arrest you. Just let them arrest you. I believe in that. Don't resist arrest. Just let them arrest you. I really do. I believe in that. Now, I don't believe it. I heard I've been hearing all kinds of stuff. And some people, well, don't even question the police. Don't talk back. Don't look at them wrong. Don't this and don't that. Yes, sir, boss, sir. Oh, my side. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it all kind of molds itself right back into that. You got a right to speak. You got a right to speak your mind. And you have a right to be silent. But if they say you're under arrest, just let them arrest you. If you can. That I get. But a lot of the conversations surrounding don't run is more about justifying police brutality than it is about being safe. When I hear people say, well, if you run, when they catch you, they gonna do this. And if you run, then this is gonna happen. See, to me, that's justifying police brutality. Because none of that stuff should happen. Well, they just telling you what's gonna happen. None of that stuff should happen. None of that stuff should happen. Running don't justify that. And when you create a mindset in people where if you say it enough, even if you're coming from the right place, I believe people misunderstand and misconstrue what you're saying. It's easy for that to be misconstrued. You might not say, if you run, you deserve to get beat. But if you constantly say, don't run, because you know that if you run, they gonna beat you. You kind of justifying it. Because you never follow that up with, that's wrong for them to do that. And so when you keep saying it, it's like, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. It's kind of the way it's supposed to be. We all know it. We accept it. We understand it. And there's nothing wrong with it. But there is something wrong with it. There is something wrong with it. That's bad. You shouldn't run. But they shouldn't beat you if you run. They should catch you and arrest you. Or they should try to catch you and arrest you as peacefully as possible. What? Arrest you as peacefully as possible? Yes. Law enforcement are not out there to be a punishment arm of the law. If you're out there and you are a danger to society, if I want law enforcement to do anything, I want them to get you off the street. I don't want them to punish you. That's another arm of the justice system, so-called justice system, that's supposed to do that. So if you don't need to hit me to arrest me, don't hit me. If you don't need to slam me up against a car to arrest me, don't slam me up against a car. If you don't need to wrench my arm all back, I'm sorry, that's my mama's speaking, wrench it. If you don't need to wrench my arm all back to arrest me, don't wrench my arm. It's supposed to be the least amount of violence possible to affect the arrest. That's what it's supposed to be. Anybody who saw or anyone who has heard about this video realize that wasn't the least amount of violence possible. And there's still questions about why he was pulled over in the first place. There's still questions about why was he initially pulled over. There are rumors and things of that nature, and maybe at some point we'll figure out what it was. But whatever it was, this wasn't necessary. This wasn't necessary. And look, because I want to, there's not a whole lot to say about this. Actually, there is, but maybe I'll go back to that. Because, some people ain't going to be here for very much longer. And when I say be here, I mean, you know what? I think my statistics show that people might spend 15 minutes watching this show in chunks. So you might be here for 15 minutes and then, you got to leave. And then you might come back later on for 15 minutes. But my statistics show, because, they give me statistics. My statistics show basically about 15 minutes, which means, somebody done came and left and maybe come back again. So before anybody else leave, let me say this. If you're in Cincinnati, really wherever you are, but I know this for Cincinnati, we have these types of officers here in Cincinnati. Now look, I keep telling y'all this. Not every officer is like this. Not every officer is a bad officer. It's not every officer. It's true. It's not every officer. It's a whole lot of officers. I would say it's the majority of officers, but it's not every officer. But I'm telling you, we have officers like this here in Cincinnati. And here's something else I'm going to tell you. You probably know this. This is going to make perfect sense to people, even though when you really think about it, it's fucked up. The officers in Cincinnati Police Department know the officers who like to brutalize people. They know who they are. They know, Big O, he likes to brutalize people. They know that. But they want Big O on their side. If something go down, they want him right there. So they know who they are. They know what they do. They'll talk about it like, oh, that shouldn't happen. But they want them there. Now, again, it makes perfect sense. I'm going to use the term. I don't really use this term. I just don't. But if you know a goon, you got a cousin that's a goon. We all do. We all got a cousin somewhere that's just a straight goon. We do. And if something go down, you call that goon. You want him right there by your side. That's Big O here in Cincinnati. And there's a lot of them. And the officers all know who they are. They're not saying to them, look, tone it down. Don't abuse people. Don't do this. Don't do that. They're not doing that because that's what they want them for. So look, CPD officers, y'all know these guys. Y'all know who they are. Some of them surprise you and you might not know. Like, I didn't know that he was that guy. Sometimes you might be surprised. But for the most part, and again, keep in mind, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I've talked to a lot of Cincinnati police officers. A lot of them don't like me, but some of them do. And even the ones who don't like me, you catch them in the right time, you can have a conversation with them. And I've brought up situations. And they like, oh no, I know him. Oh yeah, I always want him in my corner. And you like, but he's a brutalizer. He assaults and beats people. All I know is if something go down, I want him with me. That says you ain't stopping what he doing. You know what he doing. You ain't stopping what he doing. Because I guess everybody want a goon on their side. Everybody want a goon on their side. I guess including the police. But I'm telling y'all, it's happening here in Cincinnati. Maybe there hasn't been a death because of it. Maybe it hasn't risen to that level. But I know for a fact, a 100% fact. I'm not telling you what I think, what I believe, what I feel. I'm telling you what I know. There are officers in Cincinnati Police Department, and in this particular case, I'm specifically talking about black officers. Yes, there are white ones too. But there are black officers here in Cincinnati who are known for beating the mess out of people. Unnecessarily being rough. And the police know it. The higher ups in the police department know it. he's like the MVP to them. So don't believe, if you hear police talking about, oh, well, that can't happen here, or, oh, well, we don't have that problem here, or, yes, we do. We do. And look, don't get me wrong. Some of the nicest people that you ever meet out of uniform. Some of the nicest people that you'll ever meet out of uniform are the worst people you want to meet in uniform. Something happens when they put on that uniform. And when I say something happens, they don't transform into a new person, but they allow that other side of them that they don't show you. Oh, he'll give you the shirt off his back, and he might, off duty. He might. If you know him and you cool with him and whatever, he might give you the shirt off his back. He's the kindest person you ever want to meet. But you meet this dude who's all amped up on power and authority. He got his badge, he got his uniform, he got his utility belt. So he got all of the tools needed. He'll F you up and not think twice about it. And his fellow officers know that's what he'll do, and they celebrate him. And then they play I'm not that, I wouldn't do that. No, I'm not that guy. Oh no, I'm not that guy. I'm not that person. I don't do that. I treat everybody fair. Everybody should be, nah. But what about him? Oh, I want him on my team. But he brutalizes citizens unnecessarily. You can say what you want to say about him. I want him on my team. So understand, this ain't a Memphis problem. This ain't an LA problem. This ain't a New York problem. This is a policing problem. We have a policing problem. And I'm of the mind, I watched the video. Okay, 5 people been arrested, charged. And I think they're probably all out by now. I know at one point it was like 1 that hadn't got out yet, but if he ain't out now, he'll be out soon. Should be a whole lot more. It should be a whole lot more. In my mind, everybody who showed up on scene and didn't render that young man some aid should be charged. Negligent homicide. Every officer who showed up on scene, every paramedic who showed up on scene and either didn't or waited to render aid to that young man should be charged. Every single one of them. And then, of course, it was disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting that they sitting there kind of talking, bragging about it afterwards and concocting a story. He had his hand on my gun. Well, he had it good, too. They knew the camera was on. And they know that's an excuse that they can use. And that there's always some person. See how I'm trying to be good. I don't want to, say stuff and then be like, I said this and I'm taking shots at people for how they think and feel and believe. Some person is always gonna well, they said he tried to grab his gun, and you can't try to grab no cop's gun because you know what's gonna happen. He didn't try to grab no gun. He was, what they say, he was 150 pounds. Each of those officers involved was like 250 and up. Oh, he was so strong. That's what they said. He was so strong. I can't believe how strong he was. One of them even, to if I remember correctly, to demonstrate for the body camera how strong he was, he even told his story real quick. I was hitting him with, did he use the term haymakers? I was hitting him with haymakers. And did he say he wouldn't go down, or he just ate them, or whatever it was that he said? I was hitting him with haymakers. And you hit him, what was it, 3 or 4 of them? That's when they was holding him up. And let this dude just step back and haymakers, just hitting him with haymakers. And he didn't go down, or he just ate them. He was so strong. Well, it ain't that he was so strong. Your boys was literally holding him up. But, you know, you say that stuff. They say that stuff to make it like, boy, he was so strong. He was amped up on something. Lady K say, what's a haymaker? A haymaker is where you swing with everything you got. It's like, you give it all. Just with everything you got. I had to swing up because I don't want to hit the thing, and I can't really do it in here. But you just let it all loose. Just haymakers. I don't remember exactly why they call them haymakers. It's got something to do with hay. But yeah. He stepped back and swung and gave it everything he had. Yeah. If you didn't watch it, don't watch it. But I mean, you can watch it, but I don't encourage anybody to watch it. It was horrible. It was horrible. And yeah, look, y'all right. It's not necessarily a black thing. It's not necessarily a white thing. I will say this, and this is a question. And I see there's a lot of comments. I haven't really been looking at the comments. I apologize. But here's my question for you. It's an honest question. To all of the people who like to preach that basically racism is not a thing anymore. Or, you know, black, white, why people always trying to inject race into stuff and all that kind of stuff. For all of y'all, here's my question for y'all. It's a legit question. Because I want to be educated. So this is an honest to goodness, legitimate question. Have you ever seen a video of the police, either black or white, beating and assaulting someone to this level who was white? I'm not saying that it's never happened. I'm certain that it's happened. Oh, hold on. I got a call coming in. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me get that set there. Key.
Hey, what's going on, Emanuel? How are you?
I'm fantastic. And you?
Hanging in there. Yeah, that video was crazy. I couldn't, like you said, if you haven't seen it, don't, it's horrible. It's horrific. Like, I think the part where you were talking about where they were holding them up, and I just had to look away. I just couldn't. And I'm like, why is they doing that?
It almost looked like something that was staged for a movie.
It was like, it just felt like they were, from the time they pulled him out the car, and then he was even saying like, he was like, bro, you doing a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is they doing that? It was just too traumatic. I'm just like, I can't even watch this because I don't understand. Like you said, when they was holding him up and the way they was hitting him and the way his head was jerking back when they was hitting him, I'm like, oh my God. It was horrific.
It was.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, just calling, checking in.
Key,
what you up to?
Hey, I appreciate it. Let me ask you, have you ever seen a video where they were beating a white person, male or female, like this? Or even anything similar to this, Rodney King, George Floyd, any of these videos where we see this police brutality. Have you ever seen a video where the victim of said police brutality was a white person?
I can't think of none. If they have videos out there, if I did, like you said, you see more black than if it was white or Hispanic, but I can't recall. But because these stick out in my head because they so traumatic, like you said, the George Floyds, the Rodney Kings, those are just like so traumatic, and this one is the most traumatic. So this one will probably stick in my head for who knows. Like I said, it was just awful.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was just painful. I'm just like talking to why is they doing that to him? What is going on? It was just non-stop. And like you said, they telling him to give me your hand and this and that. It's like, okay, and then he was telling me something, give me something or I would break your leg or something. You on his leg, so you hold, like you said, they holding him down. Y'all holding him. So what are you talking about? So when he got a chance to get away when they wasn't on him, that's what he tried to do. And like you said, he was almost to his house calling his mama, thinking she gonna hear him. But
yeah,
somebody was saying like nobody came outside, so who knows or whatever. But thankfully, where he ran at, it was a camera, because that's what I seen the video footage from the camera outside on the light thing.
Yeah.
So thankfully, even though it's just horrible, he ran somewhere where it was a camera right there. So,
all right.
It was painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's going on, Emmanuel.
Well, Key, I appreciate your call and your support.
All right, I appreciate you. Everybody thumbs it up and
Key, hold on. Are you on the new page, the Afternoon Experience with Emanuel Livingston page?
I'll be on both of them because what happens when you say I'm on YouTube. When you go on the Afternoon Experience, the new page, it's not live. It's live on your old page. So I don't know. So the old Afternoon, your Emanuel Livingston page, it's like gives me a notification that page is live. But your other page, it doesn't show that you're going live. So I'll be having to switch back over, back and forth.
Well, so I have to check on that then.
Yeah, it does some kind of thing. Like when you first announced it, it wasn't showing live because I had to keep going back, like, okay, typing it in. And I'm like, okay, it ain't showing going live on that page. So I had to go back and forth. So I'll be on both of them. So looking back on both of them.
Okay.
But which one do you want everybody to mainly go on? Because I know you've been saying that.
The Afternoon Experiment. Go on I would prefer everybody go on the Afternoon Experiment.
Okay, so everybody on YouTube and Facebook, the Afternoon Experiment with Emanuel Livingston. Subscribe to that page. Everybody convert over, and because you got some more subscribers, so everybody can subscribe, like, thumbs up, and comment. And so Emanuel can, I know you like all your other odds and ends jobs, but so Emanuel can come on and give us this commentary every day and let us know what he up to, what the little baby up to, and all the other good stuff.
All right, Keith.
And what's going on with Wyatt? What happened?
Well, in my mind, he's probably just working, and I believe he'll probably be on at 5. But he makes a bit of a sacrifice on those Mondays when we have an opportunity to do the King and I, because again, he's got a full-time job. And he's a rich dude, so he got to keep that wealth up. So
I know.
So yeah, he makes a bit of a sacrifice on those Mondays when you sitting your job down at 3:00 when the work ain't actually over until 5, 6, or 7. So I understand, he might not be able to do that, and maybe we'll figure something else out. But I believe he'll be on at 5:00 today.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I know he said he got something new going on in Florida. But he shouldn't have spoiled us like that if he was going, like you said, get about 50 jobs to keep up the wealth. I'm just messing with you, Wyatt. Man, you made me do it. All right, man, I'll talk to you later.
Key, have a good one. I appreciate it. That's Key. Yeah, no, I'm just picking with Wyatt. he is wealthy. But ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He work hard for his money. Where was I? Oh, I was asking, have y'all seen that? I saw where somebody said they saw a white guy, but that white guy was a cop killer. It wasn't just like a traffic stop gone bad. It wasn't just a traffic stop gone bad. To say to me that race is not a component of in particular this, race is definitely a component. You can't convince me that those officers, the ones that we saw on the video beating the dude, including the white dude, would have did that to a 150-pound white guy. You can't convince me of that. Because, the truth of the matter is we understand that there are different standards. There are different standards for the way people can be treated. That's just the truth, y'all. If anybody who don't understand that or who don't believe that, you're just in denial. You're either ignorant or in denial. There are different standards for the way that we can be treated. And everybody with sense knows this. Well, with sense. Let me retract with sense. Everybody who I think is being honest with themselves knows this. There's a reason why black people are not evil. I don't know why you say that, man. Nobody said black people was evil. But y'all see the way from little kids in school, y'all see the way little kids are treated in school. There's a difference in the way little white kids are treated and little black kids are treated. There's a difference in what's considered aggressive for a white person and what's considered aggressive for a black person. A little black kid. There's a difference for what's considered aggressive and what's not. There just is. I know people, but they didn't grow up around us, so they don't understand that sometimes. Okay, the why. I don't care the why. Just the fact that there is. Okay, hold on. I got another call coming in. CK.
Praise God. Hey, Mr. Livingston.
How you doing, sir?
Man, hey, I'm listening to your show. You right on point. You hear me? You right on point. The statements you are making and you inquiring about this video, like you said, it's 100%. It's 100% because I was listening. I let my nieces and nephews yesterday hear a program on you yesterday that you was when you was back on your other station talking about when dude got shot in the back 7 times. So I was like, this is what you need to hear, and you was giving an example. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to call in to answer your question.
All right.
About have I seen a white person get treated like that?
Have you?
And it's an emphatic yes. I seen a white person get George Floyded out here. I seen a white man get shot in his nuts in his own house because the police is shining the light through it. But the problem is, we don't care about police brutality until they take one of our own.
Because, that's not true.
Hold
on. I'm gonna pause you. Of course, I'm gonna let you finish. But let me pause you for a moment. Where did you see this video of a police officer killing a white man by kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes? Where did you see this video?
Yeah, no, it's YouTube. They suffocated him. When I say he got George Floyd, they got on top of him and suffocated and then killed him, murdered him while he was on the ground in front of his house. And it was tragic. But yeah, it wasn't the exact. No, I'm not saying it was exactly like George Floyd. He just kneeled on him. It was like 4 or 5 of them. They pounded on him and they took his life.
And he was laying still. He wasn't resisting or nothing.
It was kind of like what we just seen with this guy. You know, like you said, how you gonna put your hands behind your back when you grab my arm or you punch me in the face?
Okay.
And then the other woman I was telling you, it's just like, if I come shining a light through your house at 2 a.m, of course you're gonna arm yourself and come down with a gun. This police shot the white man through the door at his house and hit him in the nuts. But like you said, we don't cover those because a lot of times when those type of things happen, black people be like, well, shit, it happened to us. But we don't, and I told you back then, I actually told you this before, and you told me you was going to check out the video, but you never did. But we don't care about police brutality until it happened to us. I think if we did cover those stories, I think if dude wasn't black, I don't know if you would be covering it today. See, that's the thing.
Well,
we don't cover it when it happens today.
Hold on, CK. Let me push back on that because you might have a little bit of a point. You might have a bit of a point. And you know me, I'm one of them people. If you got a point, I'm try to acknowledge the point that you have. You when I think about it, you brought something else to my mind. I have seen the police rough up a white guy. I don't remember the deal, but they literally pulled down his pants and tasered him in his testicles.
Yeah, that was terrible. I've seen that.
Right, but see, here's the difference. Here's the difference. And I don't know that you can blame the black community for this. It didn't make the news. And if it, you know how many black people have been beaten, abused, and brutalized, and it didn't make the news, so we didn't talk about it. It happens a lot. So now you would have a point, CK, if you like, look, this made the news. It was a big deal on the news, and black people said, we don't care. Then you would have something. But I don't recall either of those stories that you're talking about being, you know, mainstream news. Like, I would imagine you had to kind of search those out.
Yeah, you make a great point because, like you said, this sensationalism when you got the race, in it now. But when it's like you said, when it's white on white, it's not no big deal. But that's what I was telling you, our strategy. If we really wanted to fix police brutality, we need to jump on those cases. I was telling you this when you was with the buzz. I was like, you should cover those cases just like you covering this, and we probably could make a difference with police brutality. You know, let's not just make it police brutality when they kill one of us. Let's just cover it every time police brutality happens. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, I was saying for our strategy of fixing the problem.
I think you might have a point there. Now, again, from my perspective, I think I talk about police brutality just across the board. I'm not just talking about it for black people. A lot of these auditors that I watch, when they get brutalized, they're not black people, and I'm against it. But the point that you're making is a fairly decent point.
Yeah, because when I talk to my people in the flesh and I tell them these type of things, usually the response is, shit, about time they would kill one of them white folks, they ain't killed enough of us. So with that type of mind state, that's why the mainstream don't cover it. They not gonna even get up in arms and this, so why cover it? But if we cover this black man getting murdered, then they're gonna, Black Lives Matter and all that. But I'm saying if the truly goal is to stop police brutality, cover police brutality. Don't just cover it when they kill a black person because they kill them too. It's just when white people, because they sons is dead too, but they don't have that to fall back on. Like, well, damn, they've been killing us for food. It just be like, well, hey, nothing. Like nobody cares. I told you the man got shot in his nuts.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you, I don't agree with that last part that you said, that they don't have nothing else to fall back on, because white people talk about police brutality all the time. White people they sue and win a lot. I think white people talk about it as well. We just all need to come together and talk about it as if it's a bad thing. What happens here, because we like to pretend like race don't exist or race is not a factor and stuff, right? And to the point that you were saying, look, if Tyree Nichols gets beaten by 5 cops today. And oh my goodness, don't let them find out something bad about Tyree Nichols, because then he'll be the criminal who should have just stopped and gotten arrested. And they don't have a problem painting him as the criminal. Then we see that, and you won't see a whole lot of white people coming up, standing up, marching, speaking out against police brutality, because they'll be focused on the fact that, oh, Tyree Nichols was a criminal. Again, I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying if they were to find out something about him. So they'll dismiss him, but then something happens to, I don't know, Billy, and they want me to be upset about police brutality. And so, yeah, that can create that. Hold on, but where was you when George Floyd got killed? Where was you when Rodney King got beat? Where was you when Tyree Nichols got killed? Where was you when Sandra Bland was killed? Where was you? You know what I'm saying? I think I see enough of, and this ain't gonna sound great, but I do see enough of black people standing up, speaking out for white people all the time. All the time I hear black people speaking on the goodness of white people. But I very rarely hear white people, when situations happen, come out of their comfort zone and speak about the goodness of black people. So that's, if there is no reciprocity from your side, don't expect me to then, when something happened to your son, to jump up and be like, oh, that was foul. Even though, to your point, if it's police brutality, unjustified and unnecessary, then we should say something about it. But a lot of times that stuff don't make the news, partially because what Janice said. Look, I think one of the reasons why we don't see that stuff a whole lot on the news, CK, is because if we saw it as much as it happens, then that might paint white people as potential criminals. And they don't want to put out there in the mainstream media over and over, white dude arrested and or killed by police, white dude beaten up by police. Because then people are going to start saying, well, hold on, what are all of these white people doing? Wait a minute, white people committing crimes just like black people? And I think it's a concerted effort to say, hey, black people are criminal. White people, every once in a while, something, we have an anomaly here and there, but just in general, black people are criminals. And so they got to keep the face of crime black. And that's why we don't see all of these stories out front in the media.
Right. And you got to think, like your former platform, that was the narrative they was pushing. Because I believed it also, like, well, that only happened to us. Like you're saying, that's why you have to ask the question to get the realization of, yes, it does happen. It just not covered big time by the media, because like you said, they're covering up. And that's why I was telling you on the intellectual side how you can stop police brutality. Start covering the white cases. Just don't wait till we get killed. And then cover all police brutality. Because you're saying it's police brutality. You're not saying it's black. You're saying that this is a police brutality issue. You're right.
All right, CK.
And I think, hey, man, keep up the good work. Because, see, this type of stuff helps the youth to understand. I told you, I know I can get out of any ticket, anything, except when it comes to the state patrol. They ain't letting that shit go. The best you're going to do with them, if you get 3 tickets, they might drop 1. But with with regular police, you could talk your way out of that, because a lot of times you looking for criminals, and most of us are not criminals. So you can get out of the tickets and stuff like that if you are, mind manipulation.
All right, CK.
Yep.
Hey, I appreciate
Praise
your call.
the Lord, man. Keep up the good work. $1 million worth of game.
All right. That is CK. Now, there's a comment on here from somebody who says he's going by R-Dub on one of the YouTube pages. He says, not true at all. Give me a call, R-Dub. Give me a call. Let's discuss it. 717-5464. 513 is the area code. 717-5464. Anybody can write not true. But let's discuss it. I'm open to have the conversation. Enlighten me. Educate me. Educate me. He also said something about the matter of, could you imagine Emanuel speaking out against a white person being abused by police? I've done it before. I've done it before. Police don't hate me because I take their side. Police hate me because I try to speak the truth about what it is that I see that's wrong in the police department. And it's crazy that even the ones that acknowledge it, yeah, there's some issues and some that stuff that you're saying is true, but why do you hate cops? Like, it's not a hatred of police. If you acknowledge that what I'm saying is true, then why do you come to the conclusion that me stating the truth that doesn't shine a favorable light on law enforcement is hate? I've never understood that. I've never understood that. But yeah, no, I'm against police brutality. I'm against police brutality, period. And look, again, I understand. Look, if somebody has broken the law and they're in a position where they need to be arrested, and to me, that's one of those things where need to be arrested as opposed to technically can be arrested, they're not necessarily the same. How is arresting this dude keeping the streets safe? Whereas, yeah, this dude, you arrest him, the streets are safer for him not being out there on them. I understand that there's a, and they have that discretion. They definitely exercise it when they interact with other law enforcement officials. They exercise that discretion. Why didn't you arrest him? Why didn't he get a ticket? You saw that cop was speeding. Why didn't he get a ticket? We do have discretion. They use it when they want to use it. But every crime doesn't necessarily scream arrest. And I think at some points you can look at stuff and say, hey, how is it that you can use discretion here and not here? Or I'm fighting this dude like this, and now, you know what I'm saying, it's an ego thing. I started fighting you, so now you gonna be arrested. But if you think back, like, was this necessarily something where I had to arrest this person? Was this necessarily something where I had to arrest this person? I see Ben, he's saying, I think you should speak on more solutions. It's fairly easy to speak on problems all day. Well, call in. 513-717-5464 if you want to talk solutions. Call in. Because I'm going to talk about what I feel like talking about when I feel like talking about it. The way that you can control that, it's a little tip, is you can call in. And you can say, all right, let's talk about solutions. Here is one solution that I think is. And then we'll be talking solutions. So you change the conversation that way. Oh, Ben says, I'm not the host. Right, so shut the fuck up. And let the host do what the host do. Because as the host, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And right now, I'm talking about the issue. Or at least what I perceive to be the issue. So I don't want to play that video. I don't think I'm going to play that video. But this ain't the first time that we've seen that. And there's a real good chance it won't be the last time, which is the sad part. But I need us to stop emboldening and empowering brutal, lawless police officers by trying to pretend like the problem is always us. I need that to stop happening. I really do. R-Dub, I'll answer your question if you call in. 513-717-5464. I'm not getting into debates with y'all via me talking and y'all texting. If you got a question or criticism, I'll listen. Listen. Not necessarily read that shit. I'll listen when you call in. 513-717-5464. Call in. Make your argument. Make your case. Ask your question. Call me. He says that's a simple question, right? So it shouldn't take you that long to ask it when you call in. Shouldn't take you that long to ask it when you call in. Call in. And Brenda CK actually calls in. Y'all be mad that CK call in and he get what seems like an inordinate amount of time. But he picks up the phone and he dials the number to get in to say what he got to say. Yo Underwood said he not used to me cussing like this. Me either. You know, I don't like cussing. I'm so, it hurts coming up and out. It hurts. It does. But people always want to challenge somebody, but then ain't got the testicles to actually call in and challenge the person. Me being the person. When I was growing up, we had this little thing that we would say, man to man, man to man. We weren't even men yet, but we understood the idea of man to man. You got something to say to me, you say it to me, where I can respond and we can have a conversation or a fight or whatever it was that was gonna happen. Men didn't write notes to each other and pass them to one another. But we wasn't men. Again, we was boys. I would see the girls pass notes to each other and, talk all that stuff, with pass notes. When I was coming up, boys didn't pass notes to other boys to insult or question or whatever. Boys went to boys and said, hey, I ain't like what you said. Why'd you say that? I didn't like what you did. Why'd you do that? They actually talk to each other. Passing notes like little girls. Be a man. Call. And that's not even actually a threat. That's not even a threat. That's be a man, call, and we can have a conversation. He's talking about me typing stuff in Lincoln Ware's chat. That's just because I'm picking with Lincoln, and he know that. But when I want to talk to Lincoln, I call. Let me think. What else? There was something else that I wanted to. Oh, hold on. Before let me send my, should it be condolences? Am I sending condolences the people who are fans of the Cincinnati Bengals? Condolences to them because they lost. Of course, I didn't watch the game. I keep hearing people talk about we lost. You don't play for the Bengals. You are not a member of the team or the organization. They lost. They lost. They don't represent Cincinnati. Just because Cincinnati is in their name, they don't represent Cincinnati. They represent the Bengals. They're a franchise of the NFL. So they lost. And, oh well. I guess try again next year. Maybe by the time next year happens, maybe by the time Anthony says they represent bragging rights for people, but you're still not a part of them. You're still not a part of them. There are Dallas fans here in Cincinnati. Dallas fans here in Cincinnati talking about we lost. You don't even live in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? It's a franchise. It's a franchise of a business. It's your McDonald's on the corner. McDonald's Corporation, they franchise out all of these other McDonald's to other people, and they own them and they run them. And just because somebody might name their particular organization Cincinnati area McDonald's, like, oh, they represent Cincinnati. No, they don't. That's just the name of their company. It's an organization. It's a franchise. You can root for them, but you're not a part of them. You're not a part of them. And don't be mad at me. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. That's not hate. Daryl says, church is a franchise, yet you're there every Sunday. Well, first, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but even let's assume for a second that it is. I'm not talking about we this or we that. And I'm actually a part of the organization. I work there. See, now, if you work for the Bengals organization and you like, we lost. Okay, you're part of the organization. Y'all lost. Or, in cases where y'all won. Part of the organization. I work there. I can say we, because I'm a part of the organization. You work for the Bengals? They paying you? It ain't we, it's they. It's the team that you like and you support. The team that you like and you support. We lost if we put money on the game. Lewis, I thought you had a gambling addiction, man. CK, stop gambling. You lost if you put money on the game and they won because it fed your addiction. So either way it go, if you betting, you losing. Stop. It's tough love. It's just tough love. You ain't got no business betting. You got a gambling addiction. Carolyn don't want to hear nothing about no stadium. Carolyn don't want to hear nothing about no stadium. All right. Janice says the Bengals represent. represent what? They represent the Bengals. They represent the NFL. Oh, here we go with this again. A winning team brings money to the city where folks can make money, work at these bars and restaurants. So, yes, it's sort of like working for the Bengals. Sort of. You work at the bar, Daryl? You work at the bar? You work at the bar? It's a question. You don't have to answer it. You bragged about killing defenseless kittens. Let us brag about the Bengals, bro. I didn't say y'all couldn't brag about the Bengals. I just asked, I'm just stating, you saying we. You're not a part of the team. You're not a part of the team. And those kittens brought it on themselves. It is what it is. They brought that on themselves. Oh, they represent the city of Cincinnati. No, they don't. They represent them. That's like saying Cincinnati McDonald's Corporation or LLC represents the city of Cincinnati. No, they don't. They represent McDonald's. They happen to be in Cincinnati and have Cincinnati in their name. But when those 4 McDonald's franchises make money, we won, we made money. No, they made money. But they represent Cincinnati? No, they represent McDonald's. They got Cincinnati in their name. So they don't represent Cincinnati. They'll leave Cincinnati in a minute, in a heartbeat. Remember they was about to leave Cincinnati? Remember that? And then they would have been somebody else. They don't represent the city that they're in. They represent them and their business interests. Damn, man, you killing kittens. Some kittens put themselves in a terrible position. What was that, last year or year before last? And, they brought some bad stuff on themselves. They brought some bad stuff on themselves. They brought it on themselves. Oh, Ben, don't be all, you know what I'm saying? I hurt your feelings. Call in and tell me about it. Call in and tell me about it. McDonald's in no way represents Cincinnati, just like the Bengals don't. McDonald's represent McDonald's, even though there's a franchise here in Cincinnati with the name Cincinnati in it. They still represent McDonald's. They don't represent the city. It's the same thing. It's a business. It's the NFL, and that's a franchise that's located in Cincinnati, and they put the name Cincinnati on it. But they can take that name off of it and move somewhere else because it's a franchise. It's a business. They don't represent Cincinnati. They just happen to be in Cincinnati. It's not hate to tell the truth. You must be a police officer. Now that makes sense. This R-Dub person is probably a police officer. That's the same thing police say. When I tell the truth about policing, but it's the truth that they don't like, well, you hate the police. I tell the truth about the Bengals. What am I saying that's not factually accurate? Are the Bengals a franchise of the NFL? Is that factually inaccurate? So it's hateful to say it? Could they take that franchise and go somewhere else? So it's hateful to say it? Just because a franchise has the name of the city on it doesn't mean they actually represent the city. What they actually represent is themselves and their parent company. That's hate. The truth is hate. Sound like a police officer. Sound like a police officer. So you don't think any pro athlete wants to rep the city they play in? I don't know that matters. Hold on, let me ask you this. Do you believe that there's a McDonald's employee who wants to rep the city that he works and probably lives in? So does that mean McDonald's in Cincinnati represents Cincinnati because a player wants to rep that city? Think of it. I mean, honestly, think of it that way. Like, you can still like them. You know what I'm saying? Look, I like a McFlurry every now and then. I like some McDonald's fries every now and then. I like a filet-o-fish every now and then. I want to see my local McDonald's succeed. I do. But do that mean they represent Cincinnati? Because the franchise has the name Cincinnati on it. And some of the people who work there go hard for Cincinnati. Do that mean that the Cincinnati area McDonald's franchisers or franchisees or whatever represent Cincinnati? No, it doesn't. That's just the truth. If y'all stop making yourself a part of the organization that don't even like you, you know what I'm saying? Stop making yourself part and just think about it reasonably from a business perspective, because that's what it is. It's a sports and entertainment business. And, you know, we won. We lost. They won or they lost. And you feel bad about it. And I understand that. And that's why I said condolences to you. That's it. Oh, my goodness. I did not, Nat. I didn't. I chose honesty. I chose honesty. I'm giving my condolences to the fans and the people who were rooting for the team. I'm giving them my condolences because I know they felt bad about losing. So I'm saying condolences, whatever that means. I hope that you feel better. I'm sorry that the team that you support lost. I don't understand. We. Brent. Hold on, let me see that I messed something up. Oh, I did. Hold on a second, Brent. All right, Brent. Sorry about that.
Hey, E-Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Since you pissing off a lot of the Bengals fans there about the unfortunate loss on yesterday, I'm going to continue the pissing going off because I'm going to give you the Royal Rumble recap. What was not seen on TV.
Well, hold on. First tell me, before you tell me what was not seen on TV, first, the atmosphere in the building seemed electric. Just from watching at home, I was like, the crowd is really into it. They wasn't too far ahead on the count. How was it live?
electric even before the opening match, which I'm surprised they started with the men's Rumble as the first one.
I was
But
shocked
I
about
guess
that.
Well, since Cody was, going to be the victor anyway, I can see, go ahead and get out of the way. We're not surprising anybody type of deal. But, that's one of the things I want to key on is because normally they have, pre-show matches, and they didn't for this one, which was strange. So it's like, okay, we're sitting there, and there was a guy about a few rows back from me who had on a cowboy hat. He literally looked like he could have been Terry Gordy's little boy, back with the Fabulous Freebirds.
Yeah.
That's how this guy looked. But he had LA Knight's routine down perfectly. So much that he started arguing with a group of guys that were dressed like referees. Went down there, and the referee started the 10 count, and once they got to 10, they threw him out, and he slams down his hat and starts arguing, and everybody that was in that entire section was all into it, and it was hilarious. But there's fans, and then you have fanatics. I try to stay on the fan side of things. So
Yes.
There were a lot of grown men with 2 of the championship belts, and those bad boys are $300 and $400 a piece.
Yeah.
And I told my wife and sons, don't spend that money on no belt that I'm too old to wear out in public. No.
Brent, I'm going to tell you, I used to think about getting one. But, what I'm saying, they were cost prohibitive. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me one. And then, I grew up. And I was like, what am I going to do with a championship belt? But I do like them. I always want, I might, if I get rich, like really rich, like Wyatt Rich, buy me a belt, have a collection of them and take them around and get them signed or whatever, and so that they end up worth more money. But
right.
When I was younger, I used to always think, I'm gonna get me one, and then I was like, but what am I gonna do with it? So yeah,
exactly. But I wanted to start with just walking up there. The hustle man, the t-shirt hustle man, he was saying, hey, I got my shirts for $20. It's $50 inside. You better get your shirts now. And there's a couple of them. So I was like, hey, I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
And even there, like I said, it was 50,000 plus that made it inside the arena, which was amazing in of itself. And then even before you got there, there was, I don't know if she was homeless. The sign said she was homeless, had a child there, and it was misty there. Just an overcast sky, and she was, she had a lot of forethought that she put into her sign. She had it taped so the rain wouldn't streak the writing on it. So I'm like, oh man, that's taking hustling to a whole nother level.
All right.
So that was crazy there. They had metal detectors. They had everybody take everything out your pockets, go through the metal detectors. Every person that walked through the metal detector went off. Dude standing there at the wand, didn't do nothing. Everybody just kept walking through. So ain't no telling what type of knives and guns actually made it in there. It was crazy how it was. But what else was going on here? Oh, Booker T came out, him and Charmel, as he was walking through, and so that was good to see Booker T. Hadn't seen him since the old Nitro days when I lived in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
The wrestler that got the biggest pop, I don't know if you could tell or not, was L.A. Knight.
Really?
He is over big time. I didn't know. My son know the routine. I watch it casually now, so I can't catch all. But he is over big time, and that whole Lights Out sponsored by Mountain Dew match.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, how did you feel about the pitch black match live?
It was horrible. Because you really couldn't tell what was going on. Yes, you could see the glowing ropes and everything. It was like, but what's really happening? And then it looked like Howdy Doody or whatever the dude's name is committed suicide. I didn't know the whole thing was he was supposed to be hitting the guy with an elbow on the stage and being bursted into flames.
Right.
So is L.A. Knight dead? Is Howdy Doody dead? I don't know.
That part didn't make a lot of sense, even though I'll tell you, watching it on TV, again, it wasn't a great match, but it was interesting. Clearly, we could tell probably a lot more than y'all could tell what was going on. So it was maybe a little bit more interesting, but not a whole lot. And when Uncle Howdy jumped off the top, I don't know what that was.
I was like, what? I was like, what just happened? Is he okay? Legit, is he okay? But the women's Royal Rumble match, man, about half the people went to the bathroom. There are so many people walking around going to the bathroom, and there was a lot of downtime between matches because they had to, for the lights out match, they had to change the ring ropes and the entire ring so everything would show up, and afterwards they had to change it again. So we're like, goodness, so they're showing all these vignettes and everything.
What about when Nia Jax showed back up? Because it seemed like she got a pretty big pop.
People were popping only because it was a botch. Because her music hit even before the countdown started.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so when she came out there, I don't know if she's back for good because, she was known to hurt them little 95-pound women, but she can't help it. She's a big woman.
Yeah.
So it don't take much to hurt them. So, that was interesting. But yeah, and then Sami Zayn at the end with the whole thing with the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
And and whenever the head of the table came out, everybody threw up the ones. It was looking around there. My son took a couple of videos of it. It was just crazy to see the number of people, holding up the one finger.
Yeah.
And my best man was next to me. He was just sitting there. I'm like, you better put that one up. What you?
Let me tell you,
I
was not a fan of Roman Reigns. Like, I think they botched his whole push a number of times.
Agreed.
So I was like, I'm not a fan of his, but his head of the table, the work that he's been doing with the whole head of the table and Sami Zayn, which that wasn't supposed to last as long as it did. Yeah. And the work that they've been doing with that, I'm a fan of his now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they even brought The Rock in to try to give him that rub.
Yeah.
And that didn't help.
It didn't help at all.
Vince was trying to force him down. Vince was trying to push him as a face. I got to watch what I'm saying. As a good guy, and people are like, no, we want him bad, and now he's able to be who he is.
Yes.
And just the violence at the end. The only thing they could have did better is that we couldn't hear what he was saying back and forth to Sammy. They should have had mics in the ring, or should have had the mics so that people in the stands could hear. But that was an epic beatdown. That was the only. Well, I'm surprised they even let it get off to where he hit Roman Reigns with the chair. But because if I would have been one of the writers, I would have had Roman Reigns give him a hug and tell him, you could never be the bloodline. We just use you, and then they beat him down from there. So it's going to be interesting. I may check it out. Actually, well, I know my son will want to watch it, and we're getting freezing rain here, so he'll probably be off tomorrow. So I'll sit there and watch it with him just to get a recap on everything. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm glad my wife and son, able to do that for me, and being there with my best man and pulling out the grill and talking crazy like we normally do. And
yeah. All right,
just like old times.
Hold on, I got one or two more questions. When Bobby Lashley eliminated Lesnar, did y'all pop for that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because Bobby Lashley forever gets beat up by Lesnar.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley gets beat up like Lesnar, just like Dusty Rhodes used to get beat up by the Four Horsemen. Which is like, why? Dusty ain't even mentioned Four Horsemen. Dusty talking about four-leaf clovers, and next thing you know, Arn Anderson hit him over the head. And then Ric Flair is pulling off his $700 alligator shoes, stomping him with it. So it's like, why beat up on Bobby?
Hey, I got to ask you this question. I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you. I got to ask you this. Where, in terms of the ring, where the front of the ring, in terms of TV side, where were you at in terms of the ring?
In terms of the ring, you got the hard camera side. We would have been at, what's that one? We'd have been at like 2 o'clock. So we had an edge corner of the ring view, so we could see everything. The ramp was straight ahead for us, off to our left, but we could see them running out. But it was on the opposite side of the arena. So,
and then lastly, the Ricochet and Logan Paul, that spot where they jumped off the ring. Did that
Yeah.
look as amazing in person as it looked on TV?
Yes. Now that did get a huge pop because I was like, okay, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And then they hit the double clothesline and fell out. And Logan Paul is good.
Yeah,
for
he
him to
is.
be that green.
He is. I don't like him because, he's
Yeah.
Logan Paul. But,
Yeah.
yes, he is good.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what they come up with that. I'm surprised, disappointed that there was no Rock, but it doesn't look like he's going to be at WrestleMania, so there's no need to bring him out now. But you have to try to interject him into the whole bloodline because he should be the head of the table, not Roman Reigns.
Right.
There's your angle for WrestleMania 25. Book it. Send me my paycheck.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Brent, I appreciate the update.
All right, you take it easy.
All right, you do the same.
Bye.
All right, that was Brent with the Royal Rumble update. Hey, y'all can hate all y'all want. It's good fun. That's it. We didn't win. We didn't lose. They don't represent us and all that kind of stuff. It's just good fun. It's just good fun. Some of the guys that I wanted to win didn't win. Some of the guys that I wanted to lose didn't lose. And, it's just good fun. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. And for all y'all talking about fake wrestling, the majority of the stuff you watch on TV is fake. The stuff you watch on movies is fake. It's fake. But Janice, what's your TV show that you watch, if any? Do you have a TV show that you watch? Do you have a movie that you watch? What is it? What is it? It's probably fake. It's people acting. They're pretending. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's not really a machine from the future. A Terminator. He's not. Not really. No. And he didn't teach kids in kindergarten as a cop. He didn't. He was pretending. He didn't actually hunt an alien from outer space. He didn't. He was pretending. It's fake. But you watch it and you are entertained. That's what it is. It is entertainment. They're actors pretending to be, a lot of them, most of them don't even use their real names. That's how you know they're acting. They're playing a character. Why would you be mad at that? It's acting. It's fake, Emanuel. It's fake. So is most of the stuff that you're... Janice, that's the point. They are all pretending. They're all pretending. The actors, they're actors. And they're pretending. When they shoot somebody and they die, y'all think they got some ritual where they bring them back to life and then they become somebody else? They're acting. It's all acting. And it's for our entertainment. And I was thoroughly entertained on Saturday night. Even though I do have to admit, it went really long. The last match didn't end until it was close to 12:45. Sunday morning, 12:45. R-Dub, call me. So the wrestlers are not wrestlers. Some of them are. Some of them aren't. A lot of them do have an extensive amateur wrestling background. few Olympians actually have and currently do participate. So a lot of them are wrestlers, but they're acting. They're acting. Janice, you really didn't know that? You didn't know that they were acting? You thought it was like they were pulling out sledgehammers and hitting each other with sledgehammers and chairs. Like you thought it was a legit sporting competition where every once in a while somebody would get mad and do some crazy stuff like that. They're acting. They're acting. That's all they're doing. They're acting. R-Dub, call me. Ask me. I'll answer you if you call me and ask me. I will answer you if you call me and ask. Tony says, so the Iron Sheik, the Road Warriors, Roddy Piper with the blood was all fake. Some of the blood be fake, some of it don't. Some of them, they cut themselves. It's called blading. They have a little razor blade, usually, taped around their wrist, and they pull it out, and, when they go in a corner or somewhere, and they'll cut their head, just real quick with the razor blade. And then, once, sometimes it'll just start bleeding, but sometimes then they pummel each other, and it'll start bleeding. So sometimes it's fake blood. Most times it's real blood. David says, those chair shots look real. They are real, but you got to hit them the right way. You got to hit them the right way. There's a way to hit somebody with a chair. It's got to be all the way flat, and you hit them with that smooth side. Wham! You hit them with the chair. It don't feel good. I mean, it still hurt, but, there's a way to do it. Oh, Janice says she's always known that they were pretending. Okay. Well, you were saying it like it's fake. As if, maybe you thought at some point it was real. I mean, as a little bitty kid, a part of me was like, is this real? Like, it could be real. I don't think it's real, but it could be real. And then, you grow up and you figure out, okay, it ain't real, but it's still fun. So when people criticize wrestling for being fake, it's entertainment. It's people acting they're playing a role. And I always be like, well, you watch a whole lot of fake stuff. But this is where you draw the line. Tony says, when you and your buddies had y'all's wrestling league, was that real? Oh, ours was real. Ours was real. Ours was maybe too real. It wasn't 100% real. It wasn't 100% real. Like, we would hit each other and we would do different things, and ours was an actual competition, but it was certain stuff that, I would do. Like if somebody, would go to hit me, I would react as if was a really terrible hit, even though it wasn't as bad as I reacted. It didn't feel good. And when I put them in that figure 4, oh, that was real. That was real. They practice to get together days up to the big show, all choreographed. That's not necessarily true. Some of them do that. But a lot of times they call the match, like they know the way the match is supposed to end. And they might have a spot or two in the match that they know, what I'm saying? If I got a special move or something like that, then I'm going to get my special move in. You're going to get your special move in. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to do your little stuff. But a lot of the matches called on the fly. So it's not, we just practiced this match. Now, Randy Savage was known for that. Randy Savage was known for, let's practice this match or let's script this match and, go over it so that it's perfect. But most of them don't actually do that from my understanding. Did anybody ever get hurt in my wrestling group? Yes. Yes. A number of people got hurt in my wrestling organization. Me being one of them. I broke my tailbone. Yeah. Kenneth says, stop this stupid childish stuff. It's not real. What do you mean it's not real? Define real. They're actual people. They're actually in a ring. They're jumping around. They're hitting each other. They're flipping around. Define real. When you say it's not real, define real. No, I really don't. Kid, I don't know what you mean. Define real. Define real. What did y'all tell your parents? We got hurt wrestling. They knew we was wrestling. So, you know, when I got hurt, I went home hurt. Moms knew what was up. You get checked out. So it is what it is. That's why she got insurance. And my mama should have been proud. I was the ADPWA World Heavyweight Champion. Woo! Mom should have been proud. My mama should have been proud. I was the World Heavyweight Champion. I was one half of the World Tag Team Champions. Yeah. My mom should have been proud. Like, hey, my son, the champion, the world champion, got hurt and still defended his title with a broken tailbone. So that's the story you don't ever hear. You can tell. That's funny, man. See, that's funny. What else? What do I still have my championship belts? I don't. I wish I did. I really do wish I would have kept them. But, you know, we grew out of it and, you know, we stopped doing it and, you know, that was that. The whole association went away. Yes, proud. She gave birth to a world champion. Actually, I think I was like 6-time world champion. And I'm not even counting the first one because I was kind of, you know, since I started the league, I started off as the champion. And then I lost it. So I'm not even counting the first one. Technically, I was a 7-time world champion. But I'm not counting the first one because I didn't win it. I'm just counting the ones that I won. Oh. Oh, you just lying. R-Dub. That ain't why you don't call. I don't know why you don't call, because you scared. Ain't nothing to be scared of. I'll be gentle with you. I'll let you say nonsense, and I won't even stop you and check you like right on the spot. I give you a chance to feel like what you said made some sense and, you know, feel a sense of pride about it. Like, oh, I made a point. And, you know what I'm saying, let you bask in that before I challenge you on it. I'll be gentle with you if you call in. Yeah, I broke my tailbone. Oh, I remember that. It was the most painful thing. Because it was one of the times when I had the title and there was a number of people who wanted the title. And they jumped me in a ring in a match. And we didn't have a ring. Because, you know, we was poor. So we didn't have a ring. We just did it out on like a flat piece of land between these trees. And they had slammed me. But it was a rock sticking up. A rock. I'm going to say a brick. I don't know what you call it. A stone was sticking up. And they was jumping on me. And, you know, like jumping like, and then he come down on me. Kind of think King Kong Bundy splash. Think King Kong Bundy splash. And it was like, I don't remember how many of them it was. I don't remember. But they just kept doing it, and then they did it, and somebody jumped, and then somebody stayed on, and then somebody jumped on top of them, and and it just, and they thought I was just playing. And then I kind of couldn't get up. It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. I can't even tell you how bad it hurt. It hurt so bad. So, yeah, and I did. I broke it. It was terrible. Nate was not, he did not participate. He did not participate. My co-champion in terms of the tag team titles was my cousin. My cousin. He says suplexed. It's one word. S-U-P-L-E-X. Suplex. He says suplex. That's funny. Right. I don't want him to get the wrong idea. They don't do that. They don't. Well, at least for that, I didn't get put in the cast. I just laid him around a lot. And, let's see. Let me see. I broke my tailbone. Broke my tailbone. Have you ever seen Backyard Wrestling? No. I've not. I've never watched a show called Backyard Wrestling. Yes. Janice, had I said coccyx, even just saying it, you know I'm childish. If I would have said I broke my coccyx. Oh, it's just a funny word to say. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But that is what it is called. Yes. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. I know why I'm going to be on. But look, again, just to be a little more, I got to take coccyx off the screen. Otherwise, I can't be serious. But that video, Tyree Nichols, that is horrible. We really should. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. Maybe more push for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, even though I don't necessarily think that will stop it. Only thing that's going to stop it is good cops are going to have to stop bad cops, because that's what they took an oath to do. But they're not going to do that because they rely on the bad cops to do the stuff that they really secretly want to do. They rely on them, and then they back them up. So I don't know how it's ever going to end. But the idea of, well, if you just comply, just do whatever they tell you to do, answer any questions that they ask you, which is just antithetical to the Constitution. If I don't answer your questions, you're going to beat my ass maybe to death. All of the just do what they tell you to do, people. Something is wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with y'all. And I don't know what to tell y'all. There's really no fix for it. Except, I always want to not do this. A part of me always wants to do it. There is a part of me. I want to be clear about what I'm saying. There is a part of me that wants to see this, but the greater part of me doesn't. But the people saying don't run, I want to see them, a part of me wants to see them encounter a cop who's just hell-bent on beating the fuck out of them. I really want them to experience it once, to the point where they feel like their life is in danger and they gotta run. And then maybe they'll stop saying that dumb shit about, well, just do what they say do. A part of me want to see them do everything right and still get the shit kicked out of them. Put in the hospital on life support for a few months and then come out of it. And I want to be standing there saying, how did that work out for you, biatch? Because once you've been assaulted and you did nothing wrong, then you understand that doing everything right ain't the answer. But they don't see it because it ain't happening to them. And the sad part is, for a lot of people, until it happens to you, it ain't real. Or you can solve it by just playing along and being a good boy. And they'll never understand it because it'll probably never happen to them. Now, of course, the greater part of me hopes that that never happens to anyone. The greater part of me hopes that never happens to anyone. But when I hear people talking about just do what they say do. If they ask you a question, just answer. If they say this, then just do it. If they whatever they tell you to do, even if you're wrong, just comply. And you realize that stuff don't always help. Good boys get beat too. People who do nothing wrong get beat too. And the sad part is, like I said, there's a part of me that's like the only way. Well, no, all of me is like, for some of them, the only way they're ever going to understand is if it happens to them. So there's a small part of me that's like, well, let it happen to them. Then there's another part of me that's like, which is the greater part, like, I don't ever want to see that to happen to anyone. And I really don't. I really don't. Greedy, man. They can never understand it because for some reason, the downtrodden are the only ones with real empathy and imagination to picture another person's situation. That's not universally true, but it's unfortunately truer than it should be. Tyree never got a chance to comply. Exactly. That was what I said in the beginning of the show. He didn't get a chance to comply. And when he ran, he felt like he had to run to save his life. Because you could tell it was going to end bad. From the very beginning, you could tell it was going to end bad. He didn't just start running. But all right, y'all, I got to get out of here. I know Wyatt said he's going to be on today at 5. Go check out Wyatt Live. Go check out Wyatt Live. I don't agree with a lot of stuff Wyatt says. He doesn't agree with a lot of stuff I say. But I love listening to his perspective. I love listening to his perspective because he if you don't know anything else about Wyatt, understand this. Even when you don't agree with him, here's what I want you to understand about Wyatt. His heart is 100% in the right place. And he's trying to help you, maybe not specific you, but he's trying to help you move to a different place and maybe change the way that you view things. So he's showing you, for some of y'all, he's just saying what you think. But for some of us, he's trying to help us see a different way of looking at things, a different way of doing things, a different way of processing things. So even, excuse me, even while I don't agree with a lot of what he says, I can still get value out of a lot of what he says. Believe me, I agree with a lot of what he says, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and it's vice versa. So I always say, check out his show. Check out his show. I learn something almost every time I listen. All right. It's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. Again, go to the Afternoon Experiment page on Facebook. Just search the Afternoon Experiment. Follow that page. Go to the Afternoon Experiment with Emanuel Livingston on YouTube. Subscribe. Click the notification bell and click all. Go to the Afternoon Experiment on Twitter. Follow me. I hope something amazing happens to you tonight that will change your life for the good forever. Until next time, I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.